It didn't happen all at once. That's what made it harder to understand. If it had been one clear moment, one obvious betrayal, one undeniable line crossed, maybe it would have been easier to accept. But it wasn't like that. It unfolded slowly, quietly, in ways that didn't make sense at first. Clara had known Denise for over 25 years. They met when life still felt wide open, when friendships were formed without hesitation and held onto without question. Back then, everything was simple. They grew up side by side, shared secrets no one else knew, celebrated birthdays, milestones, heartbreaks. Denise had been there for Clara's wedding. Clara had been there when Denise lost her mother. There were years where they spoke every single day. Years where they didn't even need words, just presence. That kind of history doesn't feel temporary. It feels permanent. And because of that, Clara never questioned her. Not really. Not in a serious way. The first time something felt off, Clara ignored it. A comment that didn't sit right. A tone that felt slightly different. A moment where Denise dismissed something that mattered to her. It was small, easy to brush off, so she did. Because when you've known someone that long, you don't just jump to conclusions. You give them the benefit of the doubt, over and over again. But then it started happening more. Not in obvious ways. Not enough to leave a mark. A joke that felt a little too sharp. A lack of support when Clara needed it most. Moments where Denise seemed distant or uninterested or strangely critical. Still, Clara stayed. She told herself, this is just a phase. People change. Life gets busy. It's nothing. Until it wasn't nothing anymore. The truth didn't come from Denise. It came from someone else. Someone who hesitated before saying it. Someone who didn't want to be the one to break it, but said it anyway. Denise had been talking about her. Not venting, not expressing concern, but talking. Sharing things Clara had trusted her with. Twisting stories. Laughing about things that were never meant to be jokes. And worse, doing it with people Clara barely knew. At first, Clara didn't believe it. She couldn't. Because believing it meant rewriting 25 years of trust. It meant questioning memories that once felt safe. It meant accepting that someone she had defended, supported, and stood by had not been protecting her in return. So she asked, not angrily, not accusing, just directly. And Denise didn't deny it. That was the moment everything shifted. Not because of what was said, but because of how easily it was admitted. No real explanation, no depth, just a casual acknowledgement, as if it didn't carry weight, as if it didn't break something that had taken decades to build. Clara didn't argue. She didn't yell. She didn't fight for the friendship the way she once would have. Because something in her had already gone quiet. It wasn't just the betrayal. It was the realization that she had given so much of herself to someone who didn't value it the same way. That loyalty to her had meant protection. But to Denise, it hadn't meant the same thing at all. That's the part no one prepares you for. Not the betrayal itself, but what it forces you to see. Clara went home that night and sat in silence, not crying, not angry, just still. Because how do you let go of someone who has been part of your life for that long? How do you walk away from memories that are tied to who you used to be? How do you separate the person you knew from the person they've shown you they are now? The first few days were the hardest, not because she wanted to call Denise, but because her life had been shaped around that friendship. There were routines, habits, moments where her first instinct was to reach out, and then she'd remember and stop. That kind of absence doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quiet and heavy. She replayed everything: conversations, moments, years, trying to find where it changed, trying to understand what she missed, trying to figure out if she had done something wrong. But the truth didn't live there. And slowly, something began to shift. Not quickly, not all at once, but enough. Clara started asking a different question. Not, why did this happen? But why did I stay so long without questioning it? And that question didn't come from blame. It came from awareness. She began to see the moments she had ignored, the times she had minimized her own feelings to keep the peace, the way she had held onto the history of the friendship instead of the reality of it. And that's when she understood something that changed everything. Letting go wasn't about forgetting the past. It wasn't about pretending the friendship didn't matter. It wasn't about erasing 25 years. It was accepting that once wasn't what it is anymore. Clara didn't need closure from Denise. She didn't need a better apology. She didn't need things to make sense. She needed to choose herself. And that choice didn't look loud. It didn't come with a speech or a final conversation. It looked like silence, distance, and the decision to stop giving access to someone who had shown they couldn't be trusted with it. Weeks passed, then months. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but it changed. It softened. Not because what happened was okay, but because Clara stopped carrying it the same way. She stopped trying to make it make sense. Stopped trying to fix something that was already broken. Stopped holding on to the version of Denise that no longer existed. And in that space, she found something she didn't realize she had lost: herself. Because for years, she had been showing up fully for someone else, giving, supporting, protecting. And now all of that energy had somewhere new to go, back to her. She started doing small things again, things she had put off, things that didn't involve anyone else, things that reminded her she still existed outside of that friendship. And little by little, life felt lighter. Not perfect, not untouched, but freer. Because the truth is, letting go of someone who hurt you, especially someone who meant that much, isn't about losing them. It's about releasing what you kept giving long after they stopped deserving it. And that kind of release doesn't weaken you. It returns your power. Clara didn't get her friend back, but she got something else. Clarity, boundaries, and a deeper understanding of her own worth. And this time, that was something she wasn't willing to give away again. Sometimes the hardest part isn't the betrayal itself. It's accepting that the person you trusted is no longer the person you thought they were. And that kind of realization can shake you, not just in how you see them, but in how you see everything you shared. But there comes a point where holding on hurts more than letting go, where you realize that protecting your peace matters more than protecting a connection that no longer protects you. And even though it's not easy, even though it takes time, choosing yourself after something like that is one of the strongest decisions you can make. Because your loyalty, your trust, your heart, those things still have value. They were never the problem. They were just given to the wrong place. Together, let's move from doubt to power, one story at a time.